What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another daily scuttlebutt with Ivy's family factotum. It's just me today. Yep, we won't get into the specifics, but Gladys is busy, and right now, this thing is being a pain in my derriere. So I can probably get you guys flipped around. So I spent probably about an hour yesterday, maybe a little longer, trying to get the black tanks. So this RV has two black tanks, and the front black tank, so it's the toilet that goes to the master bath. Apologize if there's a little bit of wind. Like I said, this camera that I use, this phone that I use, I cannot use our microphones. So because what phone doesn't have a phone jack? You know, it's obviously, it's crazy. I know, whatever. So, or like the headphone jack. I would have to get all new mic sets, you know, that are Bluetooth. But anyway, this thing is clogged. So even though we've been using the drop-ins, you know, the stuff that you're supposed to put into your tanks to help liquefy everything, so everything can flow out of the tank like it's supposed to. Yeah, obviously that didn't happen. So this tank in the front got clogged, and what I thought with the tank being broken, that it was just draining all the fluid out. Actually, what was happening when I was trying to clean it is that it went to the overflow. The overflow obviously empties out into the belly of the RV, in turn ends up getting into that, because we have that whole plastic barrier on the bottom that's supposed to be the, you know, the extended season rated thing. I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that's there, because this thing is not insulated for nothing. So yeah, I got down there and was starting to use the snake, because I have a little snake that I can connect to my drill. Send it up the pipe, just trying to get some of that out, which I got some fluid to move and such, and it still was clogged. So obviously when the snake is in there, you can't close the gate, right? So all that stuff's coming out, and I did get to move some, but still it was not working. I even bought one of the wands that you can put to a garden hose to stick down into the toilet to try to rinse out the tank, because this RV, it does have the connections where you put the garden hose on the front, and you're supposed to do that every single time that you flush the tanks. I was doing it about every third time, but I believe that this one for the front tank, I believe that actually has a busted line. So to get up in there and repair that is going to be challenging, because I have to cut out a pretty large section of that underbelly to be able to get in there and, you know, make that repair if I can. So, but with that, I have been, you know, trying to put the hose, so you can get another fitting that allows you to attach. It's like a 90-degree elbow, but it has an attachment for a hose. So you can attach that, have your drain line already connected, and then you shoot water up into your tank from the discharge port, and then you turn that water off, and then you allow that. So it kind of helps with rinsing out that tank. It's supposed to be more for the tanks that, you know, the waste gate and all that is straight out of the tank. So basically your tank sits here, the waste gate's here, it just comes straight out without making any curves. Well, ours, how it's set up, it's only one, you know, exit port for the front and one exit port for the back, but then it has a gray tank and a black tank, basically that comes out like this into a Y, and then down like this. So at those 2 points where it's coming out towards each other, it has a gate at the gray tank and a gate at the black tank. So you have to make sure that, you know, your gray tank is closed whenever you're dumping your black tank, and vice versa. Make sure that your black tank is closed when you're dumping your gray tank, right? So otherwise you're going to send poo into your gray tank and fresh water into your black tank, which fresh water into the black tank isn't such a bad idea, but you still don't, because if you're opening that gray tank and it starts going this way and then back that way, you're gonna get poo into your gray tank. So not trying to do all that, right? So once it comes down, right, they wide down, it ends up coming down and then makes a 90 towards the front, but then makes another 90 to go back a little bit, and then another 90 to come out where you connect the hose at. So that's a whole lot of turns that you're trying to squirt water and trying to get a snake and stuff up in there. And obviously, for all that stuff to be coming out, it's causing quite the issue. I just think it's a horrible design. Another reason why I just want to get rid of this thing. So, yeah, I ended up laying down in the mud, last night, and ended up getting some poo on me. I got the poo on me. Yeah, that happened. Got on my jacket. The snake, as I was doing it came flying out. So, because that one, you got to keep it fairly straight. And obviously, I just told you it's having to go through all those bends, right? So if it ends up curling back onto itself, it's going to twist up onto itself. And then whenever it does, because my snake is like 4 or 5 feet long, 5 feet long. And then if it doubles back onto itself, it becomes 2 feet long, and then it shoots out the pipe, right? Well, that happened, and as it did that and shot out of the pipe, whack, right across the face with poo and paper and all that yummy goodness. And I almost started throwing up. It was quite the ordeal. But I pushed through. I was able to get a lot of stuff out, which is still sitting underneath the RV. So yeah, obviously with it being dry, or it's going to be dry for like the next 2 weeks, hopefully it'll just dry up some and not deal with it. Obviously over here where the clean out is, where the hose actually goes into the septic tank, that's we had to disconnect that and kind of clear that out as well, because that hose actually has been crushed a few times. So I'm gonna try to go through at some point until we can get other houses built, other septic systems fixed, and things of getting this converted more. So instead of using the rigid the RV sewer pipes, the ones that collapse and expand, right? Instead of using that, of using actual PVC piping, because I'm gonna have to order it anyway for our other septic system, so I can use it here temporarily to be able to just come out, because right now everything runs underneath the RV. So that way I can run it out here to the side, have it come down, and then 90 straight over to the tank, and then I'll just go down to the tank. So plus I think I've kind of figured out what was going on. So we have this one mound, right? I don't know if I can show you, which I believe this is what's going on. I haven't 100% verified it, but you can see, where is it? Right there behind the tractor. Where's tractor? Right here. There's a mound of dirt right here. So following the piping, right, coming out here, it kind of leads to that mound. Well, that mound is only about 20 feet long, give or take. And I believe that the septic here goes to where that mound is, and that's where the leach field is. It was a mound. I believe that it was put there to help, because our area here, our soil, has a lot of clay. So a lot of the water that comes, which I can even bring it over here and kind of show you. So you see down here on the ground, see all the poo? Yeah, that's what I was dealing with underneath the RV too. So you guys have already seen this trench, right? See the trench here, see it still has water in it. Well, that water has only went down maybe 4 or 5 inches. over the last few days since it has stopped raining. So that's what kind of lets me know that, hey, this is not this ground holds on to water, because not very far down, we have a clay level, and then even back here, like all this mud. So it's just the ground, it does not get rid of the water. So what I am going to do is more than likely do a mound system. So because all of our land slopes back that way, the same direction that trench is going, back towards the creek, right? So for us to be able to run a mound, like I would not have to dig a trench that deep. We'd be able to dig a trench by hand, because you only need to go down, less than 2 feet. So with a trenching shovel, I can easily run, a 14-inch trench. Not too bad, because the frost line for this area, right, is only like 10 inches. So if I get, down a foot, or, even 16 inches, it'd be good to be able to run a pipe down there to the area past the dogs. And then from there, have another basin. So it's a catch basin that uses a pump. So it's an effluent pump, right? To be able to, once that water goes down there, it has a float switch in it. So as the water rises into that catch basin, it'll then get pumped out into your leach field that is above ground. So it's a mound that you're building up with sand and other materials that is going to soak up that water, because it's already went through the tank. So all of your your solids, all of your nasties, is going down to the bottom. Then you got your water, your effluent in the middle, and then you have all your scum at the top. That is just the floaties, right? Until it gets to a point where they will sink down. So obviously keeping stuff into your tank kind of helps with that bacteria, and helps break that stuff down to where hopefully it's just only water going to the end, which you can always put in a filter too into your tank to kind of help with stuff going down. But you get a decent enough pump, even if it has a little bit of solids in there, it's fine. It'll still put that out into your leach field. Obviously you don't want to do that too often, because then your leach field gets clogged, right? So, but I think that's what's going to happen. So with our area of how water just does not drain that great, because I've obviously here, as a homeowner, I can do the work myself. I can get the soil tested. I can do all those things. I can have someone come in and do that. But from my observations of what I see of my own property, I already know what our soil type is, because I've dug in it. I've already worked in it. I've already seen how the water reacts whenever it's laying on the surface. And I know what our water table is, because I've dug holes, right? And I've dug down about a foot, and I start hitting water. And we're not even in the rainy season. So I know how that goes. So I think that's going to be our best bet, is doing a mounded system. So, but yep, that's basically what we're looking at. And we got a lot of work to do. So I'm going to have to call and get some prices. I already know, roughly for materials for the PVC and just the pump and basin, just all that stuff, right? That we're looking at, close to $2,000 on that. And then I'm going to have to start getting, a few truckloads of sand, because it's a coarser grit sand, for your septic sand. And then, at least one load more of rocks, because you still want to have a layer of the drainage rock underneath your pipes, your perforated pipe, and then a layer of rock on the sides and the top of that pipe, and then sand all around it, and then a layer of of dirt on top of that. That way you can throw out some grass, right? And grow some grass on top of it. And then I think we'll be all right. So, but I'll get all those numbers calculated, see what it's going to cost, and go from there. But the best part about it is it's not going to require a whole lot of digging. So with that, I mean, yeah, we can still get help from the community, but I'm not going to have to wait, to get a backhoe. So I think that's what we're going to go with. So, well, I still need a backhoe to get out stumps. That still needs to happen. So, but I don't need a backhoe to do the septic. So, all right, you guys. Well, we definitely appreciate you for following along, helping us grow, sharing us out. It's greatly appreciated, both here and on the main channel. Last but not least, always thank a veteran at every chance you get, not only on Veterans Day. And we'll see you on the next one. Later, y'all.